Here, Ruby.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Gut Bootcamp kickoff. My name is Rena Jada, and I am super excited to have you here with us today. Thank you for joining the program. Let's meet our VIP experts who are going to be part of this program, Dr. Eric Grasser and Shelby Garay. Dr. Eric, you want to say hi? Oh, you're muted by some reason. Let's unmute you. Hi, Dr. Eric, can you hear us? Shelby, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm so nice to see so many people here today, and I'm really looking forward to working with you in the coming weeks. I'm a health coach, and I'm here to support you on this journey. I really admire you for joining this program and doing this step for your health, self-care, and it's such an important part of your health. And this is a wonderful step toward, self-care, of self-care. And I'm looking forward to our coaching calls in the next 2 weeks. We have two scheduled on the 7th and the 14th. And I'm going to be sharing on Thursday on the 7th, 7 P's to Success, which I'm looking forward to doing and answering any questions you have. So welcome and enjoy.
Thank you, Shelby. Dr. Eric, can you hear us? Dr. Eric? We're not able to hear you. There you are. Are you back? Oh, we were hearing you so clearly. Dr. Eric, can you hear us? We can't hear you. Sorry, folks, we actually had tested. We were able to hear him right before we hit record, so not sure. Dr. Eric, can you type in the chat? Can you hear us? We can't hear you. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to dive right into the presentation. Shelby, could you contact Dr. Eric, please, offline, and we're going to go ahead and get started with the presentation, and then we'll hopefully Dr. Eric will join us. So I am going to share the presentation with you. All right, so we are, again, super excited to have you join the Gut Bootcamp. This is your Happy Gut team. We are the 3 folks that are going to make sure that in the next 14 days, you have all the support, the resources, the knowledge, the insights, the tips, the secrets to fixing your gut, to making your gut very, very happy for the holidays. So, every program needs rules. Here's our 7 rules, okay? So the first rule is to slow down. Slow down in these 14 days. Think you're in Hawaii. Think you're on a beach. Feel the slow music, the warmth, the sand. We are on a retreat together. I don't want you to think that you are in some crazy, insane, hard, stressed out boot camp, because our goal actually is to make you relax. So the #1 rule is to slow down in these 14 days. Number 2, smile, laugh, giggle, hug, kiss, dance, sing daily. It's mandatory. This is non-negotiable. So again, very important that you find the time to do all of these things. Put on 10 seconds of music and just dance. No one's watching. And number 3, very important, some of you have been asking these questions. You decide whether you want to follow the program 100%, 50%, or just listen and learn. So again, very important, you decide, because this is your boot camp. We will give you all the information, and you can choose to follow it completely, or you can choose just to follow portions of it. Rule number 4, we offer a ton of recipes, menu options, and we send you a day-by-day that's crafted to help heal your gut. But you know what? Sometimes you just don't like chickpeas, and we got a chickpea recipe in there. What are you going to do? Well, you're going to go into the website, and you can find a recipe you love, because the goal is to enjoy it. Your meals are meant to be fun. They're meant to be pleasurable. They're not meant to be torture. So the goal for you, fourth rule, is that if you don't like a recipe, you go into the website and find a recipe you do like. We have tons of recipes for you. Number 6, this one's a tough one. No processed goods. So we don't want you eating things out of a package for 14 days. It's not a lot to ask for. It's just 14 days. It's like 2 weekends. So, or if you're like me and that's really hard and you need your cookies with your tea, fine, maybe 10% of your total intake, right? So a couple of things here and there are fine, but really we are trying to give your gut a vacation, and processed food is not a vacation. It's a lot of work for your gut. So 2 weeks, make it fresh. Try not to eat out of packages. If it requires a scissor and a knife to cut open a bag, it's a processed food. Number 6, don't deprive yourself. If you love cake like I do, fine, we have some recipes. Make your cake. Eat some cake. You can. If you love sweet things, figure out if there's a yummy panna cotta recipe in there. So find replacements, right? If you like cookies, you like bars, we've got recipes for all of those. You like meat, no problem. Just find nutritious, acceptable replacements. And number 7, if you're confused, overwhelmed, irritated, demotivated, just don't want to do it today. It's day 9 and we're not going to do it today. Email us, ping us on Facebook, because otherwise we don't know how to help you. So if you tell us what mood you're in, we can help you. And as part of that, we've created a closed private Facebook group. Please join. And in that Facebook group, we want you to type in first thing in the morning, a word of gratitude, and the last thing at night, the first thing in the morning, a goal for your gut, a vision for your gut, a healing affirmation for your gut. And the last thing at night, we want you to put in a word of gratitude. If you're not feeling so good, ping us again, and we can all be there to help and support you. So of those rules, there's only 2 mandatory rules. The first rule, you're going to slow down, calm down. Don't hurry, don't worry. Trust in yourself. And the second rule, it's all about the yes. This is a yes program, meaning we want you to say so many yeses, yes to the panna cotta, yes to the quinoa mint pulao, that there should be no place for a no. Because when you start a program with a no, then it gets hard to follow. Because guess what the brain does? It only thinks of the no, right? So if I tell you not to imagine a purple colored dotted elephant, what are you going to do? You're going to think of a purple colored dotted elephant. So this program is about putting you in the place of a yes. So say yes to what's right. Don't think of the no. There's no room for no. All right, those are the rules. Let's get started with the introduction. So in this first of a kind ever live online program, you are going to learn 3 things. 1, the root cause of gut issues. And it's not necessarily what you think. The latest healing protocols. And surprising and unbelievable truths. And then a day-by-day program that you can actually stick to. You know, I was very sick for a long time. And I took a year to heal my gut completely. I had SIBO and leaky gut and parasites and menopause at the same time. It was just such a big toxic mess. But what I realized when I watched other programs, and I did every program, I read every book, I listened to all podcasts, is there was no day-by-day support, someone that just really helped me on a day-by-day basis. And that's what this program is designed to do. It's really designed to help you hold your hand and support you on a day-by-day basis for 14 days. Let's start with this. So there's a lot of misunderstanding about health out there. If in your mind you have misunderstanding, then healing becomes harder. So the first thing I thought we would do is just take a moment and clear out these myths so you have a basic understanding of what the truth is about healing. So here are the 4 truths I want you to internalize, read again, and truly absorb in. So the first, your body knows how to heal. Your body wants to heal. It wants to live. It wants to thrive. It is not against you. When I got colon cancer at 35, I remember being so upset at my body and going, "You're letting me down. How can you let me down? I'm so healthy. I eat well. What are you doing to me?" And that's not the case at all. The body wants to live. It doesn't want bad things to happen to it. But we are doing things that are getting in the way of health. So keep in mind, your body wants to heal. It's not stopping you from being healthy. And this program is about getting those things out of the way. Number 2, one size does not fit all all the time. I'll give you some examples. Avocados are great, right? Guess what? I have a friend who cannot eat them. She reacts, breaks into histamine. I personally can't do citrus. Go figure. I had lemon all my life, and now suddenly I can't do lemon water. I didn't know this until I started doing my elimination diet and realized every time I had my lemon honey water in the morning, I was itching like crazy within 30 minutes. You won't know that unless you keep a journal. So this 14 days is about throwing away your preconceived notions of what's good for you, what's not good for you, and saying, I'm going to figure out what my body is saying to me and reacting, and the journal is part of that. Number 3, your body does not heal one symptom at a time. I had about 22 symptoms, and I thought, okay, I'm going to go one symptom at a time. And that's actually not how it healed. It healed in waves. 7 months, nothing, and then suddenly, like 4 of my symptoms went away. And then nothing, and then 4 weeks later, 6 of my symptoms went away. It just kind of goes in waves. So if you're not seeing instant improvement in one symptom, that's okay, because your whole body is trying to heal. And when that symptom goes away, it'll actually tell you that a big part of your body is healing, not just that one symptom. So keep that in mind. Your body is either in a diseased state or in a healthy state, and our goal is to get you in a healthy state. And finally, pills don't heal, words don't heal, intentions don't heal. Nutrition does, action does, balance does. So in these 14 days, it's about action, it's about intention, it's about balance, it's about nutrition, because that's what's going to heal you. Pills are not going to heal you. Pills are going to support you. They're going to accelerate your healing in terms of supplements, etc. But they're just support. Just keep that in mind. All right, let's move on to why does the gut get sick? So it's good to know, because if you don't know why you got sick, it's harder to heal. Now, I know a lot of you already know some of this stuff, but it's just good refresher. Why does the gut get sick? Well, given I just said to you, the gut doesn't want to get sick, so why is it getting sick? Number 1 is irritants. You know, we live in a world that has a lot more, millions of gallons more of toxins being pumped in, more pesticides, more GMO, more stuff in our produce that we don't even know how to spell or pronounce. They're all irritants. Our guts are not designed for those things, right? So parasites, food triggers, candida, fungus, all of those are irritants, and they're going to bother your sick. So the goal is to start taking some of these irritants out, and that's why we say go organic, because that's going to take some of those irritants out. Don't do processed. That's going to take some of those unknown irritants out. That's why we call it a gut vacation. Give your gut a vacation, for crying out loud. It never gets a vacation. Let's give it a vacation. Number 2, microbiome dysbiosis. You know, we didn't really understand how important our gut biome was. We actually did understand that we were walking, talking bacteria. We are really the house for the bacteria that lives in us. And if they digest well, we digest well. If they don't exist, we don't exist. It's really that simple. And so when you say you have constipation and you have gas and you're bloating, it's a very high probability you've got gut dysbiosis. There's no good, happy bacteria digesting for you. If you have a lot of toxins, it's because the gut's not digesting those toxins out. You've got a hormonal imbalance because the bacteria is not there digesting your hormones out for you. There is nothing more important than your microbiome. But you know what? If you have irritants, those poor microbiome can't do anything. They can't survive. So again, we got to get rid of the microbiome. We got to get rid of the irritants, fix your microbiome. Nutritional deficiencies. Your skin, right? So think of all the stuff you put on your face. The lotions, the potions, the soaps, the oils, the shaving creams, right? Think of all the stuff you do outside. Well, what are you doing inside? So that's where the fats are important. Your lotions and potions on the inside are your fats, your healthy fats, your proteins, your amino acids, your fresh, good food. So emotional stress. There's a gut-brain connection. You've probably been seeing the quotes we've been posting on Facebook. It's a direct connection, right? So, a bad thought used to give me hives. I hate to get political on you all, but I'll share this simple example. I was still pretty sick during election time. I was hiding like crazy. If I heard the word Trump or I saw Trump, I would hive out. I would actually get hives. So I was able to prove to myself that there is a direct connection, that if you have a bad thought or if you're stressed, your body's chemical composition changes. Your gut gets really unhappy. So you got to put you on vacation mode. You got to put yourself in vacation mode. And finally, hormones, liver, menopause. You know what? Everything is one organ. Your body is actually one organ. Your gut's not separate. That's separate from your hormones or from your liver. If your liver's not working well, your pancreas is not working well, your gut's going to be impacted. So your gut gets sick when your body is unhealthy. And that goes back to the premise. If you get your body healthy, your gut will get healthier. Okay. Symptoms of a sad gut, you can read that. I don't have to tell you. You're here. You already know the symptoms. Some symptoms you may not know that I didn't know were the anxiety, the brain fog, and the autoimmune. Rashes, eczema. So if you didn't know, now you do. And I love this new quote that we've adapted: all disease begins in the gut and the mind. So we got to clean your mind, and you clean your gut, and you clean your body. All right, so what are the 3 practices for gut healing? I've put this very attractive picture of a scratched hand for a very specific reason. I want you to think of your gut as hurt. And I thought this was the best way, best analogy to share, that when you have a bleeding scratch on your hand, think of how much care you have to give it. You can't put harsh lemon on it and scrub it, right? Because what are you going to do? You're going to prevent it from healing. You have to be careful. You have to bandage it. You have to not use it. You have to let it heal. Well, it's the same exact psychology and methodology internally. If your gut's unhealthy, think of it as bleeding, scratched, and hurt. And so for you to get it better, you have to do 3 things. You got to rest it. Because if you've got that hand under the sink in water or being poured with stuff all the time, what do you think is going to happen? It's never going to heal. So to heal, step 1, we really do want you to rest your digestion. Step 2, we want you to remove triggers so the healing can hold. So even if you rested it, but if you kept putting triggers, well, then healing can't hold. And that's why we see a lot of people who get better, get worse, get better, get worse. And you get into this yo-yo. I call it the gut yo-yo. Well, it's not healing long enough. You're not letting it heal long enough to hold, right? You got to let the good skin come right out. And then finally, you got to rebuild your body so healing is strong. I went through all 3 stages myself. I'll take 1 quick minute here to explain my background. So I'm actually an entrepreneur. I had colon cancer at 35. I did 5 startups. I'm a tech background. I'm a Harvard MBA, working undergrad. And I was shocked that I had colon cancer at 35. But I was too busy doing a startup. I didn't have time. So I kept working on that. Was 35. Well, at 45, my body finally gave up. I got very, very sick. I got down to 90 pounds. I had 22 symptoms. Conventional medicine couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And basically said, we think you're anorexic and you're depressed. So we would like to put you on prednisone, and we'd like you to go home and fix your anorexia with some antidepressants. And at that point, I decided I was going to take charge of my health, that those 2 answers were wrong. And so I decided to read everything and become a healer myself in terms of my gut healing. And it took me, and I'll give you dates now, I got really sick September of 2015. I took charge of my health February of 2016. March of 2016, I began a program for myself that I created. And I ate, for the first time, a 7-course tasting menu and chocolate brownies in San Francisco, May of 2017. So it took about a year and change to fully, completely heal to the point where I am now back to eating gluten, dairy, everything with no reaction, when in September of 2015, if I ran too hard, and when I say run too hard, I mean like run when it's raining from my door to my car, I would hive out. If I drank too hot water, I would hive out and rash out. I mean, I was reacting to everything. I was down to eating 4 foods. So I've gone from eating 4 foods, 22 symptoms, to 100% health back. And that's one of the people that helped me on this path, Dr. Tate. When I was very sick and sobbing in my chair and convinced I was going to die because I was 90 pounds, losing 1 pound a week, and there was really no one was helping me. She looked me in the eyes and she said, if I heal you, what are you going to do? And I was convinced no one was going to heal me and I was just going to die. And I looked back at her and I said, then I'll help others. That's what I'm going to do, because I'm going to start crying again, because no one should be this sick. And that's what I did. When I got better, I started doing podcasts. I created Healerpedia as a way to communicate how no one should be this sick. No one should be sick. No one should have to worry about what food they're eating or if they're going to hive out or have gas and bloating. And that's the whole point of living, is to enjoy life. And I created this program with Dr. Eric Grasser, who's amazing, who I interviewed on one of my programs to really help with the day-to-day healing. So I hope this program works for you as it did for me. And with that said, let's get into the deeper parts of number 1. Let's rest your digestion. All right, make notes now. Intermittent fasting. We're going to request that you not eat. At least give yourself 12 hours, ideally 14. If you can do 16, your gut's going to love you even more. So keep in mind, the more you follow the program, the sooner you recover, right? So that's why it's your choice. You decide at what pace you want to heal. You want to heal really fast? People tell me there's no way I could have healed in a year my gut. So I had SIBO, leaky, well, so technically I had the worst imaginable SIBO, both kinds, 180 and 158. And I had leaky gut and parasites and candida, right? So I had all of it. And they were like, well, it takes 2 to 3 years for the gut to heal. Oh, and of course I had bacterial dysbiosis, all through testing. And the fact that I was healed in a year and a change is because I put everything in. So it's up to you how you want to accelerate healing. With that said, intermittent fasting is going to be really important to rest. No food after 7 p.m., really important. Your body can't clean up if you've got food in it. So you've got to give it some rest. Minimum 4 to 5 hours between meals. No snacking. That's a huge no-no. No snacking. Because it takes about 4 hours for your body to take what you've eaten and push it through. That's the whole peristalsis, right? You keep throwing stuff in, it throws the gut movement off. So no snacking. Give some 4 to 5 hours between meals. Ideally 2 meals. You can do 3, but it's 14 days. You can do anything for 14 days, right? It's 2 big meals. And the good news is you eat for a whole hour, right? Like, so it's not eat and stop. Eat for a full hour. Eat to your heart's content. There's no calorie restriction in this diet. So eat like as much as you want till your heart desires, till you can eat no more. Okay, I'm exaggerating. Don't eat that much. But eat as much as you want and then stop. And then say, I'm done. The reason we snack is we never eat till we're full. Or we're always in a diet. We're trying to eat less, right? So this is not a calorie restrictive diet. This is a heal your gut program. So drink your bone broth till it's all finished and then stop, put your fork down. So we are recommending, if you're a breakfast person, you get hungry early in the morning, start at 10 a.m., eat till 11, and then start your dinner at 6 and eat till 7. If you're not a morning person and you can kind of hang in there with some warm teas, because we're going to give you warm teas for the morning, start at 11. Eat till noon, and then get started at 7. If you need to eat within 4 to 5 hours, that's fine too. We're just giving you a little longer windows because that seems to work the best. All right, so that's the rest. Remove your triggers. Dr. Eric's going to spend a lot of time talking about elimination diet, so I'm not going to take any time here. The most important thing here is journaling. You've got to journal. I kid you not, it will not work unless you journal. Whether you're writing on a piece of paper, your cell phone notes, or we have a free heal journal for you under the welcome section. Print it. It's a PDF. We didn't want you to pay for a journal. If you ever want to buy a journal for 2018, it will be available. But for now, just hit print it out. It's beautiful. It's got quotes. You can write stuff in. Very important. And testing will help you identify sensitivities. Dr. Eric's going to cover that in great detail. Remember, in triggers, there is no good food and no bad food. I want you to stop thinking of food as bad. There's no bad food. I don't even think chocolate brownies are bad. It's just if it's working for your gut or not. It's just, is it nutritious or not, right? So is a lime or a lemon going to work for me today? Maybe, maybe not. Keep an open mind, figure out what your triggers are, and take them out. Okay, number 3, you've got to rebuild your gut. So you've rested it, you've removed your triggers. Think of it as a scratch, right? Your little scratch, it's bleeding, and now you've given it a rest. Now it's starting to heal. Now you have to rebuild it. You've got to accelerate that rebuilding. So there's things that are proven. One is ghee. It's been proven, it's Ayurvedic. If you don't know what it is, don't know how to make it, we're going to do these little sessions where we show you how to make things or buy things. Coconut oil is wonderful. You can also do seaweed stock and, of course, bone broth. So there's things that will just soothe. It's kind of like if you had that scratch, it's like applying a little balm, right? So it's like, let's apply a little balm on your gut every day. Repopulate. Let's get that bacteria, that happy bacteria that makes you happy, that gets rid of anxiety and gets rid of bloating. Let's repopulate that. So that's the fermented foods. That's the fresh leafy greens. That's the fresh produce. If you don't eat fresh produce, there's no bacteria. If you don't have fiber, there's no bacteria. So 50% of your food should be fresh and freshly cooked and leafy greens and fermented. Think sauerkraut, kombuchas, if you can handle those things. Some of you may not be able to handle, and that's fine. If you've got gut issues where you can't handle fermented foods, ignore this line. You need to get tested. You need to take the things you need to take to get clean out the old mess, and then you can begin to take fermented foods. Third is the nutritional. I know for a fact I would not have healed without spirulina and chlorella. They were my nutritional powerhouses. Oh, and moringa. Those three have been my super foods that have really given my body more energy than I've ever had my whole life. So at 46, I can tell you I have more energy today than I had when I was 26. And it's thanks to spirulina, chlorella, and moringa. I take them in different times. It's your choice whether you decide to try 1, 2, or all 3. But find things that are nutritional superpowers during the 14 days to give yourself. Excuse me. Yoga, oxygen. But the most important thing is going to be to get in the heal zone. Drink some water. So the number one foundation for your gut is to get in the heal zone and stay there for 14 days. I guarantee you the food's going to be the easy part. This is going to be your biggest challenge. What is the heal zone? So your gut is your second brain. Poor emotions and imbalances will stop your healing. Doesn't matter how much bone broth you're drinking. If you're still angry and upset, your gut's angry and upset. And there's just no two ways about it. So you have to figure out how to let go of the anger, how to let go of all of that, and let your gut just relax so that the bone broth can do its job. So that's what the heal zone is. The heal zone is getting your body in a place where it can actually heal. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to find a joyful, warm moment. Close your eyes. No, I'm serious. Close your eyes. Take just a quick moment. Close your eyes. I'm going to say something, and I don't want you to think about it. I want you to just instantly picture something. Don't question it. Don't use logic. Let your emotions take over and picture something. Picture the happiest time of your life. Okay. Where are you? Think of that. Where are you in the happiest time of your life, that happiest moment of your life? Picture that. Feel that emotion. Do you feel warm? Do you suddenly feel every cell in your body smiling? I'm actually thinking of it with my eyes open, and I'm feeling really happy suddenly, and I'm feeling like I'm smiling. And my beautiful warm place is one of the most happiest moments that I had in Key West. So open your eyes. Keep that emotion with you 14 days. That's your challenge. Keep that moment. Don't let it go. Just every hour on the hour, set a reminder. Think of that moment. Go back to your happy place and continue. Something terrible happens. Say pause, close your eyes, think of your happy moment, and get back in that zone. There's a few other things. Walk in the sun, 30 minutes. There's nothing better than that. And we're going to talk about the parasympathetic in the next slide. Self-massage. Oh, it's so good for you. So good for you. Abhyanga with oil. Dr. Eric has a wonderful article on that. Acupuncture, Epsom salt baths, light a candle. Deep belly breaths, oxygenate. There's a 5-minute nitric oxide dump that you can do 3 times a day. And that's your workout for the 14 days. Just do this one exercise 3 times a day, 5 minutes, 4 minutes actually, and you're done, right? We want this program to be easy for you. Warm water, warm soups, warm baths. So these 14 days is about warmth. And so don't do sodas and spritzy cold things, and try not to do caffeine and alcohol if you can. But if you are going to drink, maybe have a warm hot toddy, right? So back to see if you can do warm things, because you're going to warm your body and you're going to make it feel warm and loved, especially because we're in fall now. If it was summer, I'd be giving you slightly different instructions. Herbs. Saffron is amazing. I put it in everything. You'll see when you look at my recipes, it's in everything. Tulsi, ashwagandha, these are amazing herbs that if you're suffering from anxiety or those perimenopause, menopause, anxiety and mood swings, well, take some herbs, you know, throw some herbs in a kettle and we've got a hot drink for you every day with that in mind. Deep restorative sleep only happens if you are in bed by 10:30. That's just how our body is made. What are you going to do? Complain to the maker. Why did you make my body that it needs to be in bed early? But that's the truth. So figure out a way to get in bed by 10, turn off your technology, put stuff away. Just 14 days, right? So we're not saying this is a lifetime. 14 days. Gratitude is proven to work. There's articles you can read. We've shared those every day. Please do one word gratitude on Facebook or in your notebook or on the Heal Journal before you sleep. One word. What are you grateful for? That's the Heal Zone. One of the biggest challenges we all face today is that we are all living in a fight or flight mode. All of us. I call it fright mode. We're also frightened of things all the time, whether it's the Koreans attacking us or it's that mortgage payment coming due, whatever it is. Figure out how to get out of it. Get into where you are not in a sympathetic nervous system overdrive. And that's what the vagus nerve is. We have some videos for you to watch if you're curious about what the vagus nerve is. But there's some proven things that work. Deep, slow belly breathing. That's why you'll see there's a ton of yoga workouts on the day by day. Wash your face with cold water. Put on cold shower for a minute right before you come out. Walking 30 minutes in the sun is amazing. Gentle restorative workouts. Singing, chanting, humming. Cat and cow, meditation, laughing, loving, swimming. These are all amazing things to get into a parasympathetic nerve so your body can heal. Again, this is all part of Heal Zone. So finally, it's your gut, it's your boot camp. We're just your team, we're your support team, and it's your choice. You're gonna decide whether, one, you're gonna stick to it completely, you're gonna do everything we tell you to do, or you're gonna pick and choose the things you wanna do, or you're going to sit back and learn and listen and then maybe at a later point decide which of those elements. It is completely your choice. There's no grading at the end of this. But with that said, we're going to make this fun. We're going to give some awards out. So on a daily basis, we're going to pick winners based on certain things that we're seeing in terms of who is the most actively committed to their healing. And we'll do different awards on different days because we want you to win in this boot camp for gut healing. We want your gut better. We want you to track today what your symptoms are, and 14 days later, we want you to track if they went away. And the one with the least symptoms is going to get an award. So we're definitely going to have a winner out of this. Someone who says they were able to get rid of the most number of issues and we're able to really get most out of the program. So we're going to make this fun. We're going to have some games. Like I said, my role in this boot camp is to make this fun and enjoyable and for it to work for you. All right, we're going to spend very little time on the website so we can move on to Dr. Eric. Let us take a look at the website. If you haven't logged into the website, please log into the website. If you have issues, member@newyou.com. This website is going to be critical for the next 14 days. So this is the website. By the way, if you haven't, you can watch a little welcome message from Dr. Eric and myself up there. Here's now the site. So under the welcome section, which is the first section I would like you to please check out, you will have access to the team, the gut quiz. If you've not taken the gut quiz, please take the gut quiz. Actually, 36 of you have taken the gut quiz, which means we still have, we're 48 registered, so we still have a few more to take. I know there's a couple of you that have already responded to me, which is fine, but please do take the gut quiz if you can. Bootcamp rules, we just went over them. There's a few more rules you can see online. Schedule of calls. So we want you to attend all the calls. There's huge value Q&A. That schedule is in here. Heal Journal, I'll just pop it open really quickly. So this is the Heal Journal that you can print. This is a Heal Journal. You can click download here and print. And it will then give you the ability to track all the daily things. When you're on the site like this, you just click back on the logo and it'll take you back to the main page. So that's how you navigate the site. The Elimination Diet Plan is where Dr. Eric's information is, including approved foods. Heal Zone is where we have a ton of information. Let's just quickly look at this. So this is the elimination diet plan. Here, for example, when you click on view, is a list of approved foods. You can, again, print this out, take it with you to the grocery store, take a picture on your cell phone, right? Again, make it easy for yourself to track what is allowed and what is not. You can also click this. And then there will be the full elimination diet plan up there. You can also do it this way. There's also a little navigation window up here. You can click on Heal Zone. And this is where we've put a lot of the articles. Again, there's no quiz. You don't need to read all of them. But if you're ever curious about gratitude and why we are insisting that it be part of the program, you can click on here and read up all the articles on it, including the scientific articles on it. Abhyanga instructions, what the heck's Abhyanga? Don't even know how to pronounce it. Well, this is the link for you. And it'll give you instructions on it's the self-massage. Principles of eating alkaline whey, why digestion needs, tips for optimal digestion. This one I really, really would want you to please take a look at, tips for optimal digestion. It's a wonderful article on things like simple meals, don't eat too complex meals, simple meals, do not overeat, eat until 75% food. Logical stuff, but you know what? It's always good to remind ourselves of these. So here's Ayurvedic tips for nourishing your body, juicing vegetables. So there's a lot of good stuff. How to beat sugar cravings. So those are the topics for Heal Zone. We have workouts. We have, let's go to meal plan. As mentioned, every day you'll receive an email from us and you'll have a day by day with the menu in it. But if you don't like something, well, guess what? Come to the meal plan and you can look at the smoothies, salads, entrees, desserts. Dr. Eric has put all of his 14 nourishing recipes on there. I have my healing menu that I ate, and then there's Dr. Maya's top 10 gut healing recipes. So just click around. There's desserts, there's entrees, there's enough food. You won't starve on this program, I promise. So that's the meal plan. Supplements, some of you have already asked. You absolutely don't need to buy supplements in this program. However, if you're looking to accelerate or you're looking for some support, then we have two options. One is Dr. Eric's recommendations. So you can just click on that and it's sorted by gut issue. So if you're facing IBS, IBD, leaky, then Dr. Eric recommends the Ultra GI Replenish by Metagenics, and you can click on that to take you to the site to purchase. So, and then I have listed, I took thousands of supplements, I kid you not. And I would say 90% of them didn't work. What worked and what I've continued to take are the only ones that are listed here. So I take Restore for leaky gut, I take Endozyme by Clear Labs. So in my case, there's not a buy now, it's an Amazon link. So you can click on the view now to go and take a look on Amazon. So you can read up on the supplement and look at the reviews, etc. The link is of the highest quality, least price. That's what we try to do. So that's what the supplements is for. If you have any questions, remember again, just ping us. And then we get to the days. So those are all the resources for you. I'll click on videos just to show you one quick thing. So on the videos, we have meditation videos, how to heal faster videos, gut healing podcasts, and gut healing videos. So for example, the gut healing podcasts, these are all the podcasts that I've done, and Dr. Eric's is right on top, gut healing formula and ancient healing techniques. So for the 14 days, maybe pick something to listen to every day, or maybe pick a video to watch every day. Here's some wonderful gut healing videos. So again, you can choose, these are all famous, wonderful people, smart people. So you can choose every day, like, hey, you know what? As part of this program, I'm also gonna enlighten myself and learn a little bit about more about my body. So that's the videos. I just wanted to quickly show you that. There's tons of workouts in there, but like I said, we'll send you the workouts. And then we come to the good stuff, which is the days. Every day, we're gonna open up days in advance so you can go through and see what the prep might be in terms of grocery lists. All the days are here, all 14 days. And let's look at day one. You should have already received day one email. you'll receive, so tomorrow's email, tomorrow's day you receive today, right? So you always receive your day one day in advance. You click on that. Okay. So this is your day today. So every day you'll receive it in advance. Here's how I want you to plan your day out. First thing in the morning, look at the quote, do your morning meditation. It's 3 minutes in bed. Write in your journal your vision for your gut. Drink your healing drink. Have your brunch by 11 or 12. Do one of the 2 heal zone options. Do a quick workout at 3 p.m. because that's the time when we're starting to get cravey and hungry and typically binge. We want to do a workout at that point instead, and that'll stop the cravings. And have your hot drink again. And then you'll have your dinner. And if you're still hungry, we've got snacks for you. And then, of course, we want you in bed by 10:30. And then you're going to share your day at the end of the day with us or on your journal. So that's your standard day by day. And with that said, let's dive right back to the presentation. Dr. Eric, would love to hear from you about the elimination diet.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Rena, for sharing all that great information and your personal story. It's just so powerful that you're using your life experiences to take on your new venture here. I'm Dr. Eric. I'm here to help introduce today the elimination diet and the details about it and how to use it. On the second call with me a week from today, I'll be talking to you about gut healing and specifically related to testing, functional medicine testing, things that you may want to ask your provider to test on you if you're looking to explore what may be going on with your gut in that regard, and also talking about different supplements and ways to heal various gut conditions. The elimination diet is different things to different people. And so there's different ways to think about it. One way to think about it is that it is a clean diet. So what this is basically a list of allowed foods and more specifically a list of not allowed foods. We want to focus on what's allowed, but it's simpler to talk about what's not allowed because everything else is allowed. It ends up being a clean diet, and what you'll notice is that the foods that are not allowed are foods that are either hyperallergenic, meaning lots of people have allergies or sensitivities to them, foods that tend to be unclean because either they keep bad company, they are genetically modified, they use a lot of pesticides, they go rancid easily, they're inflammatory, they are unhealthy. And so even if you're not sick, you will notice that eating this way for 14 days allows you to eat a very clean diet for that time. It's also a detox diet in the sense that part of what I teach when I teach my detox class is that we remove things that could potentially be toxic while we're also nourishing ourselves with foods and potentially supplements that enhance our detoxification pathways in the body. So this diet is a perfect diet for when you're going through a detox because it provides adequate nutrition, both macronutrients and micronutrients, to assist your body's detoxification pathways. I mentioned it's hypoallergenic. So top foods that people have true allergies to, mediated by histamine, and or allergies that are delayed, mediated by other methods in the body, tend to be things like dairy, which is not allowed, gluten, which is not allowed, soy, corn, citrus, nightshades, caffeine. We also take out alcohol. We take out a lot of the seed oils. We take out the majority of added sugar. So it's a hypoallergenic diet, and that's why I think it works for a lot of conditions, not just gut disorders, but it's used even in Western medicine for things like migraines or other non-gut disorders. By all means, it's a healthy diet. So if you're looking for nothing else but to eat healthier for 14 days by following the elimination diet, I can guarantee you that I'm not allowing a lot of unhealthy, junky, sugary, bad fat type of foods. It's healthy by default. It's also used in my practice and in the functional medicine world as part of what's known as either a 4-hour program or a 5-hour program. Rena actually covered some of this in her slides. Her terms weren't exactly what I use, but the concept is there. You remove what doesn't belong. We do this by doing the elimination diet and removing these hyperallergenic and hypersensitive foods, these dirty foods. We also do it when I work with people with functional testing by removing toxins and removing unwanted organisms, bacterial overgrowth, presence of candida, presence of parasites. So those things get removed. You replace what's missing if you have a deficiency in digestive enzymes, if you have a deficiency in hydrochloric acid, if you have a deficiency in, say, things that help you digest fat. We repair the gut through gut reparative supplements and food. As Rena mentioned, things like bone broth can be very soothing. We can repair the gut with other herbs and compounds in supplements and medical foods. We re-inoculate if the gut microbiome is unhealthy. It's like walking into a rainforest that's suffering because of an overgrowth of one organism or because it hasn't gotten adequate sunlight and nutrition. So we re-inoculate by giving prebiotics, probiotics, and foods that support your gut microbiome, as well as a mental state that supports your gut microbiome. And then the rebalancing incorporates the mental, emotional components, the meditations, the exercise, because overall that rebalances your entire organism. Okay, next slide. So that was the what of the elimination diet. The why I talked a little bit about already. So there's different reasons why people do elimination diets. It's a discovery, so you actually may learn about foods that you're sensitive to that you didn't know, because you first have to take them out for a period of time before you realize that when you reintroduce them that they trigger symptoms. So you're discovering how well you can feel by removing all those foods, and also which foods may bother you once you reintroduce and challenge, we call it. It's done for discipline for some of you like me who don't necessarily have a specific gut disorder, but you know that your diet tends to get away from you at times. You get a little bit tempted by too many sweets, by too much alcohol, by too many bad fats, by overeating, by eating at the wrong times. The disciplined component is what I know some of you want, is just coach me, keep me honest, keep me on a clean diet for 14 days. I don't necessarily have gut problems. I don't necessarily have food sensitivities or allergies, but I just want to bear down here pre-holiday season, okay? Detoxification, I mentioned, it is a diet that supports detoxification both by removing poor inputs and by supporting and by giving clean inputs and healthy inputs to help those pathways. And then furthermore, it can diminish symptoms. Some people will tell me when they're on the elimination diet, they don't have headaches anymore, their skin is glowing, their sleep is better, they have less abdominal pain, bloating, gas, etc. Whole host of symptoms that you may be experiencing with gut disorders or extra GI disorders that may be diminished by the diet. Okay, so that was the why. The how do we exactly do it? How does it work? Okay, so we're doing 14 days. You can do an elimination diet for 3 weeks, a month. Some people do it longer. Most of the time it's 2 to 4 weeks. So you're going to follow the list that's on the website of what's allowed and what's not allowed. So you remove all the not allowed ingredients and foods during the time that we're doing this. It may take you a day or two to get to the store and prepare for it. You may not be able to start tonight, but you'll find there's actually a lot of things that are allowed that you probably already have in your pantry and in your refrigerator. If you're in a disease state, if you're really trying to heal bloating, gas, SIBO, candida, you name it, you really should follow the diet as strictly as possible. So that means no cheating, okay? If you also have poor discipline or you don't do well with moderation, kind of like me, and if I didn't tell you to follow it 100%, you would say, well, is one cookie enough, too much today? Yeah, that's fine, maybe 2 cookies, then you get to 3 and you've eaten the whole box, because you don't do gray very well. If you're better with black and white and you know that's how you motivate, if you're one of these people who likes 30-day challenges and 14-day challenges and you're competitive, you should follow the diet strictly. If you're generally healthy and you don't have so many discipline problems, you can follow the diet mostly. You can, maybe there's a holiday party you have to go to in the next 14 days, and you just know you're going to go off the diet. Maybe you have to eat out. Maybe you have a work meeting. Maybe at work, if you get busy, you don't get to bring your own food and you got to eat at the cafeteria or whatnot. Then you can follow it mostly. After you're done with the 14 days on your own, you're going to be challenging foods back one food at a time, and that is outlined on the elimination diet. So let's say I've gone the 14 days and I haven't had dairy. On 15th day, I actually eat cheese, and you want to eat enough of it that you're able to trigger symptoms if you're sensitive to cheese. So we tell you kind of quantities for how to trigger that. You wait till the 3rd day roughly. If you didn't feel any symptoms from cheese, you move on to milk, etc., gluten, and caffeine, and we go down the list there. So that's the challenge phase. We won't be guiding you through that in this 14 days, but you'll be able to walk yourself through that. And a lot of you have already done this, so you're kind of familiar. So that's the elimination diet. Please have fun with it. It's not restrictive, as Rena said. We're not trying to be real harsh on you. We're not calorie restricting you. From what's allowed on the list, you can eat as much as you want, and I will imagine that you're not going to binge because everything is so clean that your body gives you good feedback about when to stop. So that's it. And I look forward to working with you during the next 2 weeks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Eric. It's such a comprehensive program, such a great program that I'm sure a lot of you are going to benefit from it if you follow it really closely. With that said, keep in mind that the very last call that we're going to have, Dr. Eric is going to talk about bringing challenge foods back in and sort of continuation of the program if you have interest in that. So just keep that in the back of your mind that the last call of the 14-day boot camp is an important call, especially if you've been doing the elimination diet and have questions around bringing in challenge foods or continuing on with your diet. Great. So we are at the end and we're going to dive right into questions. So if you can all start posting your questions, please. Shelby will start to keep track of those, and I will go down our top 10 to-do list. Dun, 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 drum roll. So here's your top 10 to-do list. Number 10, log into the site and browse. Print that schedule, keep it with you, print your journal, keep that handy. Check out some of the other recipes if you're curious. Watch our welcome video. Number 9, make a decision. How much are you going to commit? Because psychology proves that if you consciously make a decision, then it's easier to live into that decision. So consciously decide, am I doing this 100% or am I not? If you're doing it 100%, it'll become a lot easier when you consciously commit to it to actually stay with it for 14 days. Like I said, it's nothing. What is 14 days? It's literally a blink of your eye, right? So you can do it if you want to, but make that decision. Your heal zone options. So look at all the heal zone options. We didn't go through that right now, but go to the website, click on heal zone, click on heal zone options, and you have day-by-day options. You can decide which of those you want to do. We want you to do one every single day, whether it's an Epsom salt bath or an acupuncture treatment or a oil massage or a walk in the sun. There's a whole bunch of other things. Figure those out or just follow us day by day. Your meal options, figure those out. Make sure you're comfortable with the meals. Your supplements, schedule of calls, like I said, print that out, keep that with you. Quiz, if you have not taken, please take that quiz. That's the only way we'll know how to customize it further for you, especially on the day by day. Join the Facebook group. If you're not on Facebook, that's totally fine. You're not going to miss anything. But if you are on Facebook, join the group because that's going to keep us all supporting each other, and it'll help you have a whole host of people there supporting you through the program. So please do join the Facebook group if you haven't already. I think there's 18 people who've already joined, so that's great. Download and print the Heal Journal. I think you'll really benefit from it. But your number one to do, your number one task is to mentally go on a gut vacation of 14 days. Your vacation starts now, right now. You are on vacation. You're going to think of your happy moment, and you're going to slow down, and you're going to deep breathe, and you're going to light candles, and you're going to sing songs. You're going to turn off technology. You're going to turn out people that are toxic to you. You're going to just take things out in your life that agitate you, that stress you out. It's just 14 days. You can do it. And you're going to go on a gut vacation. All right. With that said, let's get into Q&A. Shelby, do we have questions? I see Tiffany raise her hand.
Let's see. I'm not showing Tiffany's. Certainly go ahead with her question.
Okay, I see questions.
Yeah.
So is Ripple Milk or decaf tea allowed during the program? And I'm assuming that's a question specifically, Dr. Eric, for the elimination piece of it.
I honestly don't know what Ripple Milk is, but
pea milk, it's made of pea protein.
Yeah, absolutely. Pea is allowed, and decaf tea is allowed. We actually do allow some green tea, even though we prefer you stop coffee. We just know that too many people would just withdraw if they got their caffeine completely pulled out from under them. So we allow green tea, which is excellent for detoxification and antioxidants, etc. So that's fine.
So that's allowed. I weigh 92 pounds. My normal weight for most of my life was 100 pounds. I'm now concerned about losing more weight on a restrictive diet. That's a wonderful question. I'll let Dr. Eric answer that first. And I'll share with you.
So I think you'll find there's plenty of calories that you can ingest during this. I mean, the elimination diet does remove a lot of grains, not all grains, but lean meats are allowed, fish is allowed, healthy fats are allowed. So you can get all kinds of calories and caloric density on this diet. Now, having said that, some people do find that they lose weight on the diet, which for others that's desired. For you, that would not be desired. So you're just going to have to make sure you really ingest enough calories from the list that's allowed. And if it's not working for you after 3 days, 5 days, or whatever, then like we said, the elimination diet piece is optional part of the gut boot camp, and you can follow it less than 100%.
As I'd mentioned, when I got really sick, my normal weight's 120, 125, and I went down to 90 pounds. And so when the first time I met someone who said, oh, you need to go on this sort of restrictive diet, I completely freaked out. And I said, are you kidding me? I'm going to die. There's no way I'll make it. And what I was told was two things. One, if you lose weight, but you're having enough calories, it's because you had toxic stuff in you that your body's now letting go. And so don't be too afraid of losing a couple of pounds, because if you clean your diet out, then a lot of the old toxic stuff that's just hanging onto your body will melt away. But with that said, if you add enough fats, and I think there's such fear of fats, but of course you have to be able to digest fats. And so I did take AF beta foods and a few other things to help with fat digestion, as well as digestive enzymes, because I did have just sort of weak digestion, and so I couldn't digest that much. But the other secret I'll tell you was nuts. And I'm still getting about probably 1,000 calories a day from nuts. Macadamia nuts were my go-to. I would soak them at night because it makes it a lot easier to digest. And then in the morning, I would actually rinse, throw away the water, and blend it and make it into a macadamia nut milk. And I kid you not, you throw 20 to 30 macadamia nuts in there, and that's close to 300 calories. And you pop it into a macadamia nut milk, and then you put some saffron and some turmeric, make it like a golden milk with a little ghee. There's 500 calories in just like this little cup of milk, and it's all nutrition. It's everything your body needs. So you should be fine as long as you're, as Dr. Eric and I are sharing, as long as you're very mindful that you are making sure you're counting your calories and ensuring that you're getting how many of your calories it is that you need to do, because it's so hard to gain weight. I know everybody else is going to wince when I say this, but my God, it was so hard to gain weight and to eat that many calories every day. But nut milks was what worked for me, and specifically macadamia nuts. They're very, very high in calorie and fat. Okay, next question. So someone said, please repeat what you said about green tea. That is okay caffeine. This is okay caffeine. Okay?
That is okay caffeine, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going down now. If Vata, do you still recommend 2 meals a day? It's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. When I teach my Spring Rapid Rejuvenation Cleanse, which is people can kind of semi-customize according to their constitutional imbalance. I do talk about how Vatas tend to do better on 3 meals a day.
Yes.
And so certainly if that's a stretch for you to do 14 hours of intermittent fasting, you're going to want to not do that. You're going to want to break that up and have 3 meals.
Absolutely. So I'm a Vata. I'm a full-fledged Vata, and it was very hard. And so what worked for me was, as long as I had a really heavy grounding, warming, nourishing dinner. So in my case, soups were never my dinner. My dinner was actually pretty heavy. Plus I was trying to gain weight. So it was like the heavier meat, ground meat kind of food. That kept me grounded till I woke up in the morning till about 10:30, 11. And then I would have a heavy chai. So my third meal, so to speak, was this macadamia nut chai, basically, which was pretty heavy and grounding, and it had cinnamon and stuff in it. So the meals that I ate were still 2, but I added in, as you know, sort of a couple of hours right after I woke up, this very heavy, grounding, warm thing. There's also breakfast quinoa bowl, which is a creamy bowl. I would have that as well. But still, you can still do 3 meals and keep the 4 to 5 hours in between, and still do about a 12 to 13 hour intermittent fasting. So you should be fine even with that. So that's a great question. So feel free to customize to yourself. Can we eat dried fruits like goji berries and golden berries? Oh, I love golden berries.
Goji berries are part of the nightshade family, and so we typically prefer to eliminate those, although I can tell that it's not specifically stated on the site here. And actually, I'm noticing that there may be 1 or 2 typographical errors that I'll just get fixed in the next couple hours here. And it might just be a formatting thing, but I'll make sure I check it and make it look exactly right.
Right. Dr. Eric, so you're saying goji berries, nightshades is a no.
Yeah,
okay, right?
exactly.
But golden berries are okay?
Golden berries, I don't even know enough about them to know if they are considered nightshades.
They're not.
No,
They're
right?
not. They're, what else are they known as? I eat them by the pound. They're so yummy. Raw Food World, by the way, if you're into these golden berries, Raw Food World, I think, has the best quality. They're actually a little bit sweeter and juicier than the other brands. They're not nightshades. I think they should be fine. Is it okay to drink water? Oh gosh, there we go. That makes it easier to see. Is it okay to drink water all day or not around meals? For the morning drink, can I substitute lime, more cooling, for the lemon? With the recipe, can you create PDFs? As printing the website itself doesn't go that well, please. Which is okay. Yeah, absolutely. So you can drink the warm water, the warm healing drink, warm dry water, except, as you rightly said, you drink water 30 minutes before meal, an hour before meal, but not with the meal, because you're going to dilute out your digestive juices. Dr. Eric, any comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, the typical Ayurvedic wisdom on this is to not drink too much fluid with the meal, because you extinguish the digestive juices, like when you're cooking your rice on the stove and it's getting boiling and it's cooking and someone comes and dumps cold water on top of it. But so we say fill the stomach 1/3 with food, 1/3 with fluid, and 1/3 leave empty. That's my general advice. But between meals, you're free to drink plenty of fluids. And I think it's a decent idea, although don't get caught up in any specific myth that you need 8 glasses a day or 10 glasses a day. There's really not any good scientific evidence that as long as you have healthy kidneys that you need to reach that target. But we also feel that it makes you feel satiated and fills you up between meals. So I think there's an advantage there, especially when you're doing a program like this.
And there's some cleansing benefits too. Your question about substituting lime, absolutely. And Tiffany, the other thing is, we will have a different healing drink every day. So you'll have lots of choices. You won't be drinking the same, because I find that, if you keep things fun and exciting, that's back to part of trying to keep the program fun. So you're not drinking the same water every day. You'll have lots of other options too, and they're all about healing drinks. With that said, absolutely substitute away. I can't take lime or lemon, so I do apple cider vinegar. So that's the other option that's in there as well. Great suggestion on PDFs. Sure, we'll start doing that on the website. We'll start attaching PDFs for the recipes on the day-by-day program. When is the best time to take supplements? Oh, that's a very good question. When is the best time to take supplements, Dr. Eric?
Most supplements I find are best taken with meals, just because less likely to upset your stomach or bother you. There's an occasional supplement that the absorption may be inhibited by having a full stomach, but that's going to be something you're going to have to get from your practitioner or from reading the label. So most of the time I tell people take with meals. Also, they remember better when they're taking it with meals, because there's something to time it, or at bedtime for certain supplements, because they put it next to their toothbrush or something like that. But when in doubt, with meals.
Yeah, I always thought, wouldn't it be important to take them when your digestive juices are flowing? And if you retrain your body, then the highest digestive juices will come at mealtime, especially if you're sticking to meal times, which we really, really want you to do. Please don't eat all over the place. Try to stick to the same routine within 30 minutes of each other, because that's going to retrain your gut to secrete the most amount of juices at that same time every single day. And that's what's going to help with the absorption of those supplements. So to me, logically, it just made sense that you would want to have your supplements when your digestive juices are the highest and your body's actually absorbing, instead of just kind of popping them all day long. There's a question about, what is the maximum number of nuts one can take in a given day?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm going to leave this mostly up to you. Nuts are high and they're calorically dense. And so certainly one of the things I tell people when they're asking me that question in general, I get them to think about how much effort our ancestors would have gone through to get one nut out. So if you're eating, a bag of cashews, and you think about your ancestors back in the Indian subcontinent, and if you know anything about how cashews grow, you get one cashew on top of a fruit that's very hard to access the nut. So how much work would your ancestors have had to do to get an entirely large handful of cashews? A lot of work, and they probably wouldn't have eaten all of them in one sitting. So keep that in mind. Same thing with things like coconut oil or juices. Moderation. But for purposes of following the diet strictly, we are not restricting the amount of nuts. I'll answer another question too that came up, cutting out seeds, but they are allowed. The seed oils are the things that I don't want you taking in: sesame, sunflower, canola. They tend to be rancid by the time they hit the shelf. If you're getting seeds that are relatively fresh, especially if you're keeping them in the fridge or the freezer, that's going to be a lot cleaner, a lot less likely to go rancid. It's not so much that I don't want you to get sunflower seeds. They are nutritious, but seed oils tend to be rancid, and they tend to therefore cause oxidation and clog your arteries, etc.
And then the next question is, does 50% cooked greens mean just greens or veggies of different colors? So honestly, 50% cooked greens is greens, chard, kale, arugula. There's a lot of literature around that helping the bacteria, plus they're extremely rich in all kinds of nutrients, versus, adding, let's say, a zucchini, which is a fabulous vegetable, but it doesn't have the same potency as, let's say, chard or kale. But with that said, 50% greens, yes, you can absolutely throw in other greens, green beans, asparagus, Brussels sprouts. But so squashes wouldn't count in your 50% greens. They would count in the orange category, which again, you want colors for sure. And you'll see our recipes have a lot of colors in them. But I found that the healing accelerated the more greens I had. But they have to be cooked greens, of course. How about avocado oil? That's a very good question. I do a lot of avocado oil. Yeah, Dr. Eric, what about avocado oil?
That's great. Avocado oil.
Okay, great. So that doesn't count as a seed issue. I love avocado oil because olive oil is not so hot for cooking on high temperatures, and we do a lot of high temperature cooking. So I love avocado oil for that purpose alone. Is it okay to eat a lot of raw versus cooked as I drink veggie smoothie every morning? What a great question. Dr. Eric and I were just chatting about that yesterday. So I'll give you my quick response, and then Dr. Eric will share with you his. I found that while you're trying to heal your body, warm cooked is easier on the digestive system. And back to, since we're saying this 14 days is all about resting, when you eat anything raw, that's a lot of work. So my recommendation is, number one goal, we're going to rest our digestion, which means we're going to cook it. You can actually cook, like you can pop in an avocado, which is fine. So a raw avocado is fine as long as it's ripe. I throw that into my smoothies all the time. But like a raw kale or a raw chard, those are harder to digest. Cucumber is fine. So again, there's things that are easier to digest and things that are harder to digest. So my recommendation is, keep in mind, the back of your mind, I'm resting my digestion, and then question all the things you're doing. Dr. Eric, what about your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, as we talked about last night, I mean, certainly this is where I also bring Ayurveda in and look at their constitutional imbalances. If their digestion is weak and they have a vata state of digestion, they're not going to do too well with raw foods, especially not in the colder months. And I imagine most of you on the program are here with us in North America, so it's colder now. So having said that, if you have a strong digestion, if you have a strong Agni, as we call it in Ayurveda, you're going to be able to process raw foods much more easily, and therefore I think you can eat raw foods even while you're going through a detox diet, elimination diet, gut boot camp. We just want you to focus more on cooked foods than on raw foods, and make that be the focus of the boot camp.
And Dr. Eric, are berries easier to digest raw? So meaning, would it be more recommended for Michael to do a berry smoothie during 14 days instead of a veggie smoothie?
I wouldn't say necessarily.
Okay.
Also depends, and this is debatable, and there are people who debate it forever, what you're using to make your smoothie, whether the kind of blade that you're using and how much pre-digestion is actually going on when you blend that, versus some people will use a juicer, some people use a blender, some people will use a bullet, and it will gently alter the pre-digestive nature, whether it's cracking the cell wall or whether it's breaking up the fiber. And so to some extent, when you put something through a blender like that, or a juicer, you're pre-digesting it for yourself, versus eating an entire whole food raw that you have to take and break down with your own digestive juices.
That's right. I invested in a cold press juicer called Angel. It's a little pricey. I think it's totally worth the price point, though. It's scientifically proven to have retain a lot more nutrition. So you can Google Angel juicer. I don't get anything from them. You can Google Angel juicer to check out the cold press juicers on the market. Okay, so would I be able to tell if the nuts and oils are rancid, or are you saying we wouldn't notice it and use it anyway?
I'm leaning more towards you wouldn't notice it. It's got to go pretty bad for you to be able to taste it as off or smell it as having gone off. But really, these seeds, they will go rancid quickly. Chia seeds, flax seeds, sesame seeds, sunflower, they'll go rancid quickly, and you won't know it just by buying that bottle off the shelf. So that's one of the reasons why I actually don't recommend them in general too often. Furthermore, these seed oils were not traditionally used as nutrition in our ancient cultures, to be honest. So you wouldn't know.
And I love how you keep reminding us that go back to the basics, right? So go back to, would this have been the norm a couple of hundred years ago? And if it wasn't the norm then, in these 14 days, don't make it the norm today, right? Try to go back to your ancestors and the basics that they followed. And that's where, in fact, the whole intermittent fasting starts, right? So they would wake up in the morning and go straight to hunt, and they wouldn't eat anything until they came back. And then they would have the most massive meal. I did this podcast interview with someone who was giving these stories. of how they tracked down sort of what that lifestyle looked like. But then they would eat for like 4 hours or 3 hours, right? They would have these courses upon courses, and then they'd eat and they'd go to bed and they'd wake up and start all over again. But they almost had one long meal a day. So even the 2 meals is a little bit more than what our ancestors, and when I say ancestors, I'm going way, way, way back. Okay, Michael just added that, absolutely, Michael, Vitamix, keep it a little longer, it'll warm it up. I think that's the perfect solution. So you found your answer right there. Okay, I think we are at the end. No more questions. I'll count to 3. If there's no more questions, then we are going to wrap.
And I'll just say one more thing. I checked the site and I realized the goji berry question was a great question. We made one small error in cutting and pasting the elimination diet that I'll get fixed. And that's why you didn't see that goji berries are excluded. So we'll get that fixed and you'll see that they're on the no list.
There is one more question. What is the thinking with candida and eating high sugar fruits? Oh, candida is a whole different ball of wax, right, Dr. Eric?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we have enough, at least I'll say anecdotal evidence that if you're trying to get rid of candida overgrowth, you have to be extremely low sugar in your diet.
So I went from being a sugar junkie all my life. And when I say all my life, I mean from the age of 2. My mom had stories of how I would only eat cookies for breakfast, to having been told that I could eat no sugar. And you can imagine how traumatic that was. But I would agree that if you do have candida and fructose malabsorption, which means if you eat sugar, within a couple of hours you will have gas, you almost have to cut it out completely or it doesn't work. So I would keep cheating in the early months. I would do grapes because I high sugar, yummy, yummy grapes, summertime. And literally every couple of hours, bam, my body would say, nope, it's still a no, Rena, take those grapes out. The only thing I could get away with was just a handful of blueberries or raspberries. I would argue that you have to listen to your body, track your symptoms. If you eat something and you start to see symptoms in a couple of hours, no sugar fruit for sure if you have candida. Yeah, or fructose malabsorption. Now the good news is today I can eat all of that because my gut's strong again. So the good news is it's not for life, right? We always fear like this is how I'm going to have to live the rest of my life. No, if you give your gut the time it needs to fully heal, then you can go back to enjoying life the way it was before those annoying gut symptoms started. But you've got to give it enough time to heal. So like I said, in my case, it was a little bit over a year. But I am now back to having fruit smoothies and doing everything and not having any symptoms. Great. Well, thank you so much for joining the boot camp. Get ready to go on this gut vacation with us for 14 days. We are here for you. We are here for you via email, via Facebook. You know that you have us as part of your personal team. I will be reaching out and chatting with all of you one by one. So keep an eye out for my email to schedule a call with you so I can make sure that all your needs are being met during these 14 days. And we will see you very soon on the next call with Shelby. Shelby, remind everybody, when's the next call?
Our first coaching call is this Thursday, December 7th at 12 p.m. Pacific time. So
thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Please be on it. And you can then ask us questions that have come up over the next couple of days. And we'll have more information to share with you. If you want us to do things like record videos for recipes, etc., keep telling us, right? Tell us what we can do to make your life easier. I'm happy to start recording videos for recipes, etc. Like show me how to make almond milk. I make my own almond milk. I make my own ghee. So we can start doing those things for you. But we'll wait to hear from you if you want us to do those for you. Thank you so much. Dr. Eric, last words?
Thank you. Just have fun with it. It's not a prison sentence here. It's just you trying to get more well and clean up before the holidays. So just have fun with it and use us for all your questions.
Shelby, any last words?
Yeah, I would agree with Dr. Grasser to have fun with it and look at it like an experiment or a discovery, something that you're just trying to learn more about your body and what foods you might be sensitive to, or what foods make you feel great. So just try to tune into your body a little bit more than usual and see how foods make you feel.
Stay smiling. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.